What up guys, Elemental here, and yes, I finally made it into the beta, and there's a lot of changes coming for the Elemental side, and enhanced as well. Right now, I have a second Elemental Shaman. This is my same Shaman, but I just transferred him to a different server. I'm going to be leveling him to level 90 if possible, and showing you all the cool things that the Elemental Shaman has to prepare for everyone. And also I'll be doing enhance as well, after I'm done with the LA part, like I said. I'm going to cover each tree and each basis for the Shaman class. So first, let's go into the talents here. First, as you can see, these are your primary active talents. These are the ones that are passive when you choose either from Elemental, Enhancement, or Restoration. These in themselves used to be in your talent trees, and they are now considered passive abilities. Thunderstorm, don't need a talented, you have that. Earthquake, still have it. Lava Surge, that is awesome. Now, you guys know what that does. That is your flame shock. When it ticks, it has a chance to reset the cooldown of your lava burst. Now I'm going to show you in the talents why this is going to be extremely overpowered, in my opinion. So we don't need to be stuck casting in one spot without using Spearwalker's Grace. Alright, so let's cut into the talents. Alright, so there is 6 talent trees for level 90. You get to pick through 6 different trees, and as it is now, you only go through 5 at level 85. And I'm going to show you what I picked personally for the Elemental side of the talents to choose from. There's 3. There's one called Nature's Guardian, which, you know, I honestly think this is more resto if anything else. I'll zoom in and let you read it. It says, whenever a damaging spell brings you below 30% health, the maximum health increased by 25% for 10 seconds. And then, of course, the threat deduction and all that, which is the PvE side. But it's like a Battle Master's trinket, I guess, if you want to put it that way. But I would rather be able to have something like this. It's called the Stone Bullock Totem. It's different than the Stone Cloud Totem, which, in fact, it's actually the same as well. Now, the Stone Claw only absorbed a certain amount of damage. Well, the Stone Bullock Totem, it absorbs a certain amount of damage, but also it absorbs an additional amount of damage over time while the totem is still up. So if someone leaves the totem up, it's still going to absorb here, let me put it this way, I'll read it out to you. Okay, this grants the caster a shield absorbing 20,000 damage and up to an additional 6,666 every 5 seconds thereafter. Okay, so basically it's going to absorb a big sum of your damage instantly, and then after that damage absorbed, as long as the totem's still up, it's going to absorb 6,666 every 5 seconds, which I think is pretty good. Now, I think Enhancement's probably going to be taking the Astral Shift. This seeks by shifting the particles into an elemental plane, reducing damage taken by 40% for 6 seconds. And it's kind of like Shamanistic Rage, I guess if you want to put it that way, except it doesn't take off stuff. Now, the second tier is I went with Earth Grab. I like Earth Grab. I'm not really into the enhancement side of frost shocking someone, because usually you're trying to get away, not get to them. So you don't really need to root them by chasing them. You can also use it as an offensive, and you can root them and run away, but why not have something that can root everything all around you besides just a frost shock? Frozen Power is more of a single target, incapacitator, while Earth Grab grabs everything around you, so you're able to run away. Then they have the Windwalker's Totem. This grants party members immunity to moving effects. So not just you, but everybody around you. Say a Frost Mage, which you just drop that totem, everybody's free. They can get away. For 6 seconds they can't be stopped unless the totem's killed. That is also a really good one. I think between all 3, the best ones for Elemental Shamans personally would be the Elemental Grab and the Windwalk Totem. I'm going with Earth Grab. I'm going with the old school one. But who knows? Down the road I might vary and might try the Windwalk. Alright, so then the third tree, I went with the Totematic Projection. This replaces your totem wherever you want. See, now that's why I went with the Earth Grab, because you drop your Earth Grab totem and then say they do break the root. What you can do is you can use that totem to replace it next to you before the time runs out, relaying and replying that totem down, so it might have a chance to root them again. And then there's other ones like these are more, to me, resto. I think the only really good one here would be the Totematic Projection. This one, it's an 8-second cooldown, but it resets the cooldown of all your totems. Every single one for that's 5 5-minute cooldown. but it's an 8-minute cooldown to replace that, so I don't think it'll be able to be used in Arena. And there's another one called when replacing or destroying your see, this is cool, but I'm not using it for LA. But what this does is if your totem is destroyed before the time is done, or you recall it, what it does is it cuts the cooldown of it to be resummoned with a 50% full cooldown. So say your totem is a 5-minute cooldown and someone kills it, it drops it down to 2 minutes and 30 seconds, which is pretty cool. But I'm sticking with shifting my totems where I want them, even though it's only based with one tome, but I like survivability. I like to get away and be able to cast. Now the second down, we'll go down to the 4th tree. There's Elemental Mastery. The thing with this is it doesn't increase the damage done, guys, like it used to before by 20%. Does not increase the damage done. All it does is call upon the forces, empowering you with 30% haste. So it's basically like a little heroism or bloodlust. Not so cool for me personally. I do like haste, but I do like the other talent I chose, which I'll show you here in a second. Then there's Astral Swiftness. This is like, you know, an insta spell, basically. Anything and it becomes instant. And then if you do pick this talent, you get a passive, which all increases your haste by 5%. That's melee and spell haste. That becomes a passive. So you get a free insta heal, or a free lava burst, or a free, you know, whatever you want. But the reason why I went with Echoes of the Elements is because I'll read it out to you. When one of your spells causes direct damage or healing, you have a chance to gain Echo of the Elements, duplicating that spell. So basically, with your Flame Shock, now the thing is, I'll tell you what this, they kind of they changed Lava Surge. They changed it completely. Instead of it resetting your Lava Burst, what it does is when your Lava Burst resets, it's not a castable Lava Burst. It's an insta Lava Burst. It's like a Pyroblast. So basically, it's kind of like the Fire Mage's insta Pyroblast. They get a proc, and you're able to cast it within a matter of seconds for free. And that's really cool, especially with Echo of Elements and your Mastery, because your Mastery, what Mastery does is it has a chance to cast a second spell at half damage for free, no mana, right afterwards. So say you cast a Lava Burst, and then you get your Echo of Elements proc, and then you're able to cast a second Lava Burst absolutely free and resetting the cooldown, and then your Mastery's proc. So instead of casting one extra Lava Burst, you're going to be getting 4 if each proc off of that, which is a lot of damage. Now, if you go down one more tree, this is probably the best one out of all 3. I don't think Healing Totem Tide or Conductivity is going to be very beneficial for the damaging of a Shaman class. I picked Ancestral Guidance. Whenever dealing direct damage healing for the next 10 seconds, 40% of that is copied as healing done to a nearby enemy. So that's even including yourself, if you're by yourself. So basically, you pop this 2-minute cooldown. If you have distance from someone, you can keep casting into them, casting into them. While this is active, it heals you and your party member for a percentage of the damage done. Or if you just need healing done, you just heal yourself, and it'll give you an extra 40%, plus it'll pass it off. So I personally choose this one just for the survivability. Now the other one is Healing Tide. Summons a totem to you, and the Healing Tide pulses healing party members for 6,000 every minute and 1 minute .86, which to me is not worth it as a elemental. And then there's Conductivity. When you cast Healing Wave, Greater Wave, Healing Surge, or Lightning Bolt on a target located standing within healing range, sharing healing equal to 20% of its initial damage or its healing done. So yeah, basically that's not for you either as damaging. You're not who really lays down healing rate. So Ancestral Guidance is the way to go. Now for the 6th and final tree, each one of these has a chance or is able to be used with all classes, with Elemental Shaman, with the Enhanced Shaman, and even as Resto. All 3 of these can be useful. The first one is called Unleashed Weapon. When you, as an LE Shaman, you're going to be using Flame Tongue weapon. So this is what this talent does. Increase the enemy's target damage from taking damage from Lightning Bolt and Lava Burst for the abilities by 25% for 10 seconds. So for 10 seconds, your Lava Bursts and your Lightning Bolts are increased by 25%. Now for Enhancement Shamans, this would as your win free weapon. For 8 seconds, your melee auto attacks can trigger static shock. And then for healing, increase the effectiveness of your next single target healing on a single target by 50%. And then Frostband, you leech heat from the enemy target, gaining 50% moving speed for 4 seconds. Rockbiter, take an additional 40% damage from your enemy target for 5 seconds. So, if you use it, say you're in a clutch situation and you're getting hit hard by some melee or a rogue, you pop on your Rockbiter, you know, then you use it and you'll take 40% less damage for 5 seconds. So, I mean, it can be useful either way. This makes your unleashed weapon more survivability oriented. Second one, Primal Elementalqt. This one is kind of interesting. Your earth and fire totems draw forth powerful primal elements direct from your elemental planes. These servitors are 50% more powerful than regular elementals. Okay, and they act as pets directed under your control, and you gain additional abilities. So it's basically like you're like, hey, I'm an elemental shaman. Oh, this warlock's got a pet. Oh man, this mage's got a pet. Boom. Now you have a pet, and it has more abilities, so it gives the shaman ability to have a pet, which is cool. And I'm actually interested to see what those pets do and what they are, and I will show you that once I hit level 90, and I have a lot more to show. And then the third one is called Elemental Blast. I mean, right now I would probably choose it because I haven't seen what the pets do. So this is what Elemental Blast does. It harnesses and directs raw power of the elements towards an enemy target, dealing, right off the bat, dealing 20,000 elemental damage, and increases a caster's critical strike, haste, or mastery by 5% for 8 seconds. Now, it's up to you to choose which way you're going to go, but as it speaks, and for the last tree, I'm either going to go from Primal Element, because I don't know how the damage is, or Elemental Blast, because I like crits, I like big numbers, and I like people to die fast. So that is my little guide and my little thing on the talents of a Elemental Shaman as they are right now in Mists of Pandaria. If there's any changes or anything different once I hit level 85, or sorry, once I hit level 90, you guys will be the first to know, so keep it locked in. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Elemental out. Peace.